All right, what's going on, everyone? This is Hollywood Cole back with the H&K video game experience. Here with me, as always, is Kleer.
What's going on, guys?
And today we're going to end up talking about the Destiny 2 beta. Our last episode was about the kind of a retrospective of Destiny 1. And where everybody's getting excited for the Destiny 2 coming out. And we're going to cover some of that today. Talk about what we saw in it from our personal experiences and what we would like to see in the new one. And just kind of give overall viewpoints on that. Before we get into that, though, has anything new happened since last time we spoke, Kleer?
Not much has gone on. I mean, there's been a few. There's actually been a video dropped from Activision. It's got a little bit more information about some Destiny 2 in it, so that was kind of neat. It kind of opens your eyes about something that happens in the beta that you saw in that first mission. So that's a neat little reveal there. Kind of wish they would have held that back, but it's all good. We'll talk about that later.
Okay. Well, I was going to tell you this earlier. Tomorrow is Wednesday, so that's half game night at Dave & Buster's. So it's half cost day all day, and so take the kids up there. And right now on my card, I got like 12,200 tickets. We've been doing this for years, and so they got something there for 12,500. And it's the Final Fantasy 12 HD. I hope it's still sitting on the shelf when I get there, man. Just like let me win awesome. 400 extra tickets. My son will hit the Angry Bird game, man, and just be nailing jackpots. It just crushes the jackpots on there. He's 5 years old, and it's like 500 tickets every time he does it. It's just hilarious.
Jeez, that's awesome. But good luck tomorrow night then.
Yeah, but it's kind of like you said with Final Fantasy 12 HD. I never finished it, the original one, but it's you really want to get caught up in a game that right before Destiny 2 comes out, because that's what we're going to be doing. But anyway, it's just cool to have if it's still there. I've been wanting that one for a while, and it's just cool to be able to get that one. I saw it there last time I was there, so tomorrow's a perfect time to do it. But anyway, that's what we'll be doing. So, what's going on with the Destiny videos? Is it
So a new one that just dropped. It's actually, I think, two videos, if I'm not mistaken. It's one that I don't think was done by Destiny or by Bungie. Maybe somebody outside. It's on one of my community groups I follow. This is on the Bungie's Destiny 2, the community on Facebook. It's a closed group, but you can ask to join and people will let you in. One of the videos that are on there is definitely a Bungie Activision video, and it was just a nice new trailer that kind of showed a little bit inside of what happened, because like the big question was what happened to the speaker. Where did the speaker go? Did he change sides? Is he a bad guy? Is he a good guy? Is he snuck up on us? Well, guys, I hate to say it, spoiler alert, I'm gonna have to put that here. If you haven't seen the video yet, it is a big time spoiler in it, so it kind of sucks, but it looks like the speaker is not a bad guy. It looks like from the video that Dominus Gall has captured the speaker and is holding him hostage. So I kind of wish they wouldn't have dropped that in the video, but then again, it's kind of also neat to see that as well, because then you kind of get the idea that, okay, they're not trying to go in the direction of what they were doing what they were trying to do with Destiny 1 originally before they had to rewrite the storyline. So it's kind of good to know that, but then it's not. It's kind of one of those bittersweet things. But really nice video, really cool. Show some cool things. The other video that's
hold on
there.
a second. So when you're talking about the speaker being captured, we've seen on that video the Traveler, I think, right? That's the big white globe. Is that correct?
Yeah. I'm not sure. It's like the Traveler's only in this one a really brief moment. It's not on this one very much. It's not. Well, even
I think it might even be on the beta where the Cabal, they throw this like spider thing that, or what, I don't know what it is that connects to it.
Yeah. They capture the
that's
the Traveler that way. Yeah, okay. That's the Traveler.
So we kind of figured he probably would be called. I mean, I don't know. I don't remember, but not thinking that he was called. But.
Well, from a lot of the other people I play with and everything, we were trying to hypothesize on what was going on there, Is he a bad guy? Is he pulling double agent on us? What's going on with that? And this video here pretty much says, no, he's not a double agent. It says he's been captured by Nominus Gaul. Or, as people more affectionately call him, Gary. So I kind of like that. I really, with Cade 6 and the way he's kind of showed out here at the last, with Rise of Iron and then going into Destiny 2, I really like Cade a lot more. He's been a lot of fun, but still not a big Hunter player. So that's just my little sidebar there for that part. But the video is really good. So if you haven't checked it out yet, go check it out. It's there. We're eventually going to have our Facebook page live for H&K Game Experience. That video will be on there as well. I'll make sure that gets tagged in there as well so you can check it out. But just give us a little time to get that. We're trying to make sure we get everything lined up so it looks good for you guys so you can find the information you want as well really easily on the page.
So first impressions of the beta. You got early access because you pre-ordered it.
Yeah.
And so... what was that? Just a few days early, or I can't remember exactly. Was it a week early?
It's basically a few days early. I think it was July 18th or 19th that it dropped, and then the 21st is when open access was. So it was a few days early. So basically, I got to play through the entire thing before open access, and I basically played about 3 or so hours on a Warlock and a Titan. I didn't play that long on the Hunter. Basically, I played the Hunter through that homecoming mission, and that was it, because I'm not a fan of the Hunter. I'm not a fan of the Hunter jump. I'm critical of that, but, the Hunter is a good class, and it does have its place, but it's not a good play for me. My impression, though, for all of it is the controls feel a lot tighter. They feel a lot more refined. One of the big things everybody always complained about with Warlock was you jump up in the air, you glide, and you can't come down very quick. It seems like they've kind of adjusted that some in the Destiny 2 beta. It was really nice. I enjoyed how the Warlock jump and fall was happening, as well with the Titan. The Titan had a really nice... It felt like it almost was a uber boost. It felt like a bigger boost. Now, that was my opinion. I don't know what other people else had to say other than our group, and in our clan they were also saying kind of the same thing as well. The guns were really nice. I like the different exotics. Sweet Business was a really nice gun. I love auto rifles, and that one just really was just fantastic for me. I loved playing with that when I was playing the Titan. And the Risk Runner for the Warlock, that was really nice. And I'm a Warlock player that loves to just go up in there and be a tank with a Warlock. Not many people do that because a Warlock can be a little squishy at times, but I like doing that, and I've actually had really good success with that. And with the new Dawnblade class, it worked great doing that. I mean, you were able to go up in there, bust up some guys, pop your super, and still be right there in the thick of the battle and not worry about dying. So that was really nice. And the Risk Runner provided that extra kick there too, because if you're getting in there and you're getting at it, that Risk Runner was just adding extra damage with everything you did. And of course, you ran the risk. It's called Risk Runner for a reason. And I can't remember the perks that well, but I do remember that you do run into issues if you're running the Risk Runner and you're playing too aggressively. But it was a really nice gun, and I did like the Sunshot gun on the Hunter. That was a really nice hand cannon. I'm not a hand cannon player, but I really enjoyed it. It actually shot pretty well, and really liked that.
It really did.
But the one thing that I didn't like was the way that they changed the weapon layouts, where you've got
we'll talk about that in a second, because I want to talk about this for a second.
Okay.
Here's my thing with the whole Destiny 2 and beta, and just kind of what we talked about the last show. It's a 10-year plan, right? What we talked about, and and I mentioned that I thought it was going to be like one of the MMOs, because this was like kind of the first time anybody's done this on a console. Everybody's kind of doing it now. The new game coming out, what was it called? The newest one, Anthem. Yes.
Yeah, it won't come out until sometime next year, but
it's a 10-year plan deal, and so
runs the same length. Yeah, it runs the same kind of idea.
Yeah, so it wouldn't be uncommon, and we'll start seeing these things in the future. But I thought it's, hey, here's your expansion. You get to continue to develop your character, and kind of the fun of that is 5-6 years in, you go back and do a raid. Let's say Vault of Glass, that used to be so difficult, and you just bust through it because you're just so overpowered. Anyway, they didn't do that. They released a whole new game, obviously. That's what we're talking about. So some people are like, well, no, they needed to release a whole new game. Well, no, let us carry our characters over. Let us, we want to carry everything over. We want to carry our weapons. We want to carry our builds and all this. Well, they didn't do it, and I understand they were saying before anybody had heard anything about Destiny 2, they were saying, well, you don't want to carry your character because they're going to have whole new skill trees. They're going to have all that new stuff. If you make it to where they carry the character over, they're going to be kind of hamstrung into maintaining a status quo of what they've had in the previous Destiny. So, okay, cool, I'll buy that. No character transfer, I'm cool with it. But then the beta hit, and it's almost the exact same build. I just played the Hunter, but I did look at the skill trees. It's just a grenade, scatter grenade, trip mine, incendiary grenades. You even got gunslinger. You got throwing knives. I mean, Arcblade is the exact same thing. He just has a bow staff, which they could have easily said, hey, he's learning. He's got a new weapon, whatever. So why didn't they just let us carry it over? Because the story picks up, where it left off. Just let us kind of do. I mean, I don't know. Why didn't they just let us carry that over and continue it on? Do you think they're trying to? Since they, hey, we're just going to go ahead and wipe the whole Destiny vanilla of the story. We're never coming back to that. We're never going to explain Stranger like we talked about. We're never going to do any of that because all the other add-ons, expansions were just separate stories. Crota, then they had Lord of Wolves. There's a story about the Skolas and stuff like that. They never kind of went back and addressed that. And it doesn't look like they're going to do that either in Destiny 2. So do you think they just said, hey, we're going to wipe it clean and start a whole new game?
So I think that I got two theories behind this. One, my first theory is with all the issues they had with Destiny 1 from the beta to release, where they switched the story, rewrote it, and all of that, and all the issues they had from there, I think they wanted a clean slate and wanted to fix those issues, because even though that they fixed some of it with the release of Taken King and Rise of Iron, you still had some of those issues because it was just compounded. It was just built on top of things. Weapons, newer weapons were reskin of old weapons, same way with armor. A lot of this stuff was just reused and rehashed. I mean, Taken, I love and hate that whole character race. One, it's a lazy way to bring in a new character race, but then again, it was a creative way to bring a character race. So it's both ways, and it really was weird. And I didn't like it and didn't like it.
If they did it to be lazy, they played it off well. If they had it, they had it in mind the whole time. They saved themselves a little bit of time. And
they made it work. So I'm not saying that it didn't work. It worked. It worked and worked well, but it also cut a lot of corners for them, made it really easy for them to do development. So, and me by nature, I'm a computer programmer, so I understand that and I understand why they did it, and especially doing like that. And so I'm thinking that maybe because of that, that's why they're clean slating and doing it like that. The other thing is Destiny was developed for the PS3, the PS4, the Xbox 360, and the Xbox One. So when you're on that type of format, you have to fix your game for when you're going to next gen. So I think that's the reason why they did. I think that's the reason why they did Destiny 2 as a new game, because they wanted to fix that. And also too, Activision really got on them for not being able to release content like they should have. I mean, they should have been dropping more content than they did. When you're looking at a DLC once a year tops, that's how it kind of panned out, and this little bitty trinkets of stuff here and there with these special events.
They released it you talking about Crota and all that? That's like every Destiny 3 months.
On Destiny 1, on their DLCs, they had the Dark Below that was the first DLC that released in December of the first year.
Right.
Then you had Taken King that released that
March
April.
Or so, yeah.
Well, if you're looking at it from an aspect of timelines, then it comes out to a DLC a year, because in the time frame of that, you're looking at only that, but you got to think about it. Taken King, the Dark Below, and then the House of Wolves. From House of Wolves, you don't have anything until Taken King. That's a year later, and then
that was in September.
I thought Taken King in September.
Yeah, that was in September.
Yeah, it was in September. So you're looking at excuse me, my bad. A DLC twice a year.
Well, you had Crota come out, so it'd be 3. Yeah.
Dark Below was
so you
Crota.
had 2, yeah, and then you had
and then
Taken
House
King
of
start
Wolves,
the
and then
next year.
Taken King. Yeah,
I think that's good. I think that's that gives you enough time to really dig into the expansions and really enjoy them.
The only problem with that was the expansions were so brief. You're looking at 5 missions and a raid. 5 missions and something else. Because with House of Wolves, it wasn't even a raid. It was the Prison of Elders. Great concept, but Prison of Elders, you flew through it. And by the time you're done with it, you're like, well, why do I want to keep on playing it? And 2, with the whole loot system at the time, it was like, man, I'm just not getting drops very much. And it was just kind of a downer in a way. I don't get me wrong. When it came out, it was the new hotness for me. And I was jumping on it, playing it, and running it and gunning it. But
they had
you ran out of content so quick. And I think that was what the issue was. And from Activision's point of view, they were like, we want more content.
Absolutely.
They want to see more content.
You definitely need more content than those, but if they can maintain that cycle but give a little bit more content, I think that's my personal opinion. I think it'd be good. Because what happens is, remember the Lord of Wolves, when you're just running around in the open world, and then the wolves are landing. Well, then you kill them and you get a key, and you got to go find the treasure chest, and you get a good legendary or something out of it. That was so much fun. It gave you something to do. It's like, there's another one. You wait over here or whatever. They're dropping over here. Let's go over here and kill this and try to find the treasure chest real quick. And you could actually, you could expose or whatever you call it. This glitch you just kept exploiting till you leave the zone and come back or whatever and get more stuff. But anyway, the point is, after that 3 months, how many times did you go do that again? You never did. I don't even think it exists anymore.
No, it doesn't exist anymore because the Taken started dropping whenever the Taken King came out.
Yeah.
And then when Rise of Iron came out, don't hold me to this, but I don't think they had a drop thing like that for Rise of Iron. I don't remember having the Siva doing like that. So you had the Taken dropping, and I don't think that happens anymore. Or at least I don't ever try to do it anymore. If it does happen, then great. If not, it's still, But the whole thing behind that is I remember hearing something from Luke Smith at one time, and his developers saying they were complaining about how hard it was to develop for the Destiny 1 platform because it was designed for the, all 4 systems. Yeah. And I get that from a programming standpoint. I get that. It's a pain. It's difficult to do that. And that's why they were dragging on content. And that's why they were focusing Rise of Iron solely on the next-gen consoles, the PS4 and the Xbox One.
I hope
that's why I think they're rolling with Destiny. I think that's why they're rolling with Destiny 2 in the fact of it being a new game, not a carryover, is trying to fix that development pattern so they can actually develop content on a better basis and a quicker basis.
Yeah, I hope that's the case. I really do, and that's a true statement because Bungie's never lied to us. But
Bungie's the golden boy; they never lie.
But that talking about the expansions again, one of the things I didn't like was that if you did not buy the expansion, you're not playing anything.
Yeah, you're done. You're pretty much done.
So you had to buy the expansion. So what was it, $120 or something for the first year of Destiny? Oh, it'd be $140 because the Taken King was $40. Paid $60 for the game and $20 for the expansions. And again, I'm cool with that. If it's good content, I would do it again. I enjoyed every minute of it. But I just wish that hope the expansions build on each other this time. Instead of just basically erase all the you still got Prison of Elders and you still do the Crota raid, but there's no reason to go back and do missions. I wish there'd keep some kind of reason to do that. Like let's say, kind of like they did that one mission. I think was it a strike where you had to go back where you got the Black Spindle, where there was like a secret thing to the side. Like let's say a Crota mission that you do or a Crota strike that you do all the time. Well, then a new expansion comes out, and then you have to maybe you complete a mission on the new expansion, and it unlocks something from the old one that you go back to play that old content, and there's a new passage or something that you can get some other weapon that you didn't know was there, but it only unlocked if you somehow just tie them together,
Yeah, that's kind of and I felt like they were a little disjointed from the core story, then to the Dark Below. and then to the House of Wolves, and then Taken King and everything. But I understand what they were doing too. They were trying to correct the story that was screwed up from the beginning. So I get that too. But hopefully, with the Destiny 2, it's not going to have that. Hopefully, they got to plan it out. I mean, right now they're saying 80 missions and events to do right off the bat. Now, granted, don't take them as saying it's 80 missions, guys. It's not 80 missions. It's going to be 80 things to do. Yep. Now, granted, that's probably a heck of a lot more than we had in Destiny altogether from beginning to end. But don't get your hopes up on having a ton of content to do right off the bat. Now, granted, they're saying it's going to take you 55 hours to hit level 20 and light 200. I'm like, you really underestimate your group out there. You really underestimate your players, because I know people that are going to power through that a lot quicker than that. I mean, you're doing that. You've got Pop-Tarts out there that starting September 1st, if you buy a box of Pop-Tarts that has it, you get an XP boost. I mean, you've got that, and then you've got, go buy your rock stars, and you've got weapons and stuff like that. So, I mean, if you're giving everybody all these boosts, they're going to blow that 55 hours out of the water. I mean, it's just no doubt about it. I remember when they did the, Red Bull promotion for Destiny 1. Well, I found an algorithm on how to build my own codes. Now, granted, that's wrong. I don't ever condone it. I was just, you know what? I don't drink Red Bull. I'm just going to do this. I made about 3 or 4 codes. They worked just fine, and then, had a little XP boost. That didn't help any at that point, because there was really nothing to boost your XP for at that point, because you're just playing. When you played through the game, you got all the XP you needed. But, I mean, you've got things like that can be easily hacked and changed like that and alter the game. There's no way that you can fill up 55 hours worth of playtime on that. Now, I do know people that have wasted. Let's see, there was one person that I saw in one of the groups I'm following in Facebook, and he spent over 2,000 hours in Destiny. There's some with 4,000 and 5,000 hours in Destiny. I'm like, guys,
let's just see.
Play a little something else. You're really only playing one thing. I mean, I can't say anything. I've got close to 700 hours myself, and I think Hollywood's got around about the same as well. But don't kill yourself on the game. Have fun and enjoy it.
208 days straight, 24-hour days for 5,000 hours. Jeez.
Just enjoy the game. Enjoy that. Don't blow through that content. And that's the one thing that was a problem I felt like in Destiny 1. They gave such few content, such little content on these DLCs that you just flew through it. And I'm hoping Destiny 2 doesn't have that. But they do look like they have, like, what was it? The hidden sectors or lost sectors, and that looks like a really cool idea, where you have these basically loot caves to go in, fight some bosses, and get some loot out of it. I hope they design that to where you get random loot through it, not just one specific thing. Otherwise, they're going to burn through content.
Why was that? That's the new thing they're trying to bring out. Why was that not in the beta? Why was the standard mission a strike, and really the only thing new was a new multiplayer game type?
Mm-hmm.
Why did they not have the open world stuff going on?
I really think that was mainly because they were more trying to stress test their servers than anything. They even extended the beta at the end to really do that, because they decided, we haven't had really good response.
But now
we had a lot of people on the beta.
But aren't they doing peer-to-peer now?
No, it's still not peer-to-peer. It's like the hybrid system. I forgot exactly what it is, but they're.
But it's not
you're still on servers.
It's not dead.
Yeah, there's no dedicated servers on this, so they're still doing that quasi peer-to-peer, but they do have servers back in. Pulling some of the back end. I mean, you've got to have them for even for peer-to-peer. You still got to have them to some extent. So because all of our data's housed outside.
So let's go back to just something interesting I was thinking of while you were talking about. How they needed to come out with a brand new game because of the new consoles, which is completely valid. Well, now they're talking about maybe so Destiny 1 was 2014, right? And now we're in 2017, so it's a 3-year span. There's rumors about a PS5, within the next year or two. A year is being very, very generous, but let's just say 2 years, 3 years. Do you think they're going to jump to the next generation?
I think PS5 is going to be another project. Is going to be at Xbox One X, the Project Scorpio Xbox. I think that's more what the PS5 is going to be. I don't think it's going to be a jump in technology. I think it's going to be just a jump in power, kind of like the PS4 Pro was. The PS4 Pro was a jump in power. Now they've got this supposed software upgrade that's going to be coming out that actually pushes more power out of the PS4 Pro and puts it more along the lines of Project Scorpio. But I really don't know because there's not that much power in it in the box to push it to. And I think
usually they would call it a PS Pro something, like it's got Xbox One Scorpios. If you name it a whole new PS5, I would think it would be a whole new console. And regardless, let's just say it is a new console. I mean, there's no way to really know, I guess, but what if Destiny jumps ship again and goes, hey, we're going solely... Well, they would probably make it for both generations, but...
It just solely really depends on the technology at the time that the PS5 is developed. If they're developing it now, then it's going to be based on this architecture. Now, you're looking at like the PS3 to the PS4, you had different architecture in both of them. When you're looking at the PS4 to PS5, I don't think there's going to be that different architecture because you're looking at like x86 that the things are built on versus the x64. So when you're looking at those two different architectures, of course you have the two different you have the two different places where you have to develop different ways. I don't think there's going to be that much technology jump to do that. I just think that the PS5 is going to be like a powerhouse. It's going to be kind of like with PCs where you just have the power jumps, not the actual architecture jumps. And I think that's what's going to happen with the PS5. So it basically will be a PS4. It'll just be a PS5 with a better processor, better hardware, better RAM, all that good stuff in it.
That's pretty much what they all do. But if they... so let's just say on the flip side, the PS5, or really it's not that big of an upgrade or whatever, do you think they're going to make a whole new game, or do you think they will continue to build on Destiny 2 as a,
I hope they continue to build on Destiny 2 because I'd like to see it turn into more of a WoW style thing where you just have those DLCs, those updated content like that back and forth. That way you can go back and play those things. I mean, one thing I'm going to miss leaving Destiny 1 is playing Vault of Glass, playing Crota, playing Oryx. Didn't really care for Wrath of the Machine. I mean, I played it, beat it, and everything, but that wasn't, I loved Crota, I loved Vault of Glass. I loved those two. I thought they were great. I was so happy when they decided to bring them up. I wish they would have brought them up sooner. But that's what I'm going to miss. I don't want to get into Destiny 2, move on to Destiny 3, and have to go, oh man, I have to start all over again. I lose all my weapons. I lose my character and everything. I mean, now granted, going from Destiny 1 to Destiny 2, you don't technically lose your character, but you lose all your weapons, you lose all your achievements, you lose everything, except for his face or her face.
It's like whichever. You said, man, when you, once Destiny 2 comes out, Destiny 1 is dead. I actually got on the game yesterday, Destiny 1, and just played a strike. It took about 2 or 3 times longer to find a strike, of course, because nobody's playing. But it wasn't even that fun, because it's worthless at this point because who cares what weapons I get? Who cares about how good my character is? One, nobody's playing to care. Two, it's going to go away. So when Destiny 2 comes out, because it's not going to go away. You can still play the game, but nobody cares, like you said earlier. Mm-hmm. And so out of this 10 years, say that happens again. Let's say that happens 3 years down the road, and then Destiny 3 comes out on the new systems or whatever, and it just wipes, and it doesn't pick up off of Destiny 2. Well, now out of that 10 years of gaming, you're really only going to be left with that last 3 that matters. Do you see what I'm saying? And so, I know they're the kind of the first through the wall with this new format, and I hope that these other companies learn from this. And if you can, just build on your game. And I know the Xbox 360, the PS3, these were 10-year console cycles, and we'll probably never say that again. In fact, Sony has said the 10-year console cycle is dead. You're never going to see that again. And then it's been every 4 or 5 years a new console comes out. So, these 10-year plans, it's almost, you're going to have to go to the next console if it's a whole totally different machine. But there's something to think about, I guess, with these 10-year plans. It's really just, hey, we're going to release a new Destiny game and why would you stop at 10? If you're just going to release a new game, why would you even stop at 10? Halo's been going on forever.
Well, I mean, and they might not. When they first thought about it, they were like, oh, yeah, 10-year plan for a game to carry over. Let's bring over MMO to the consoles. Well, first, Destiny really isn't a MMO. It's more of a first-person shooter MMO. It's kind of like a cross between the two,
Yep.
It's like if you took Call of Duty and WoW and smashed them together, and that's what you got, And actually, it's a cool idea, cool concept. I love the game. But, you're doing something brand new, and you're doing something brand new on consoles are fixing to get replaced because Destiny dropped on PS3 and PS4, Xbox 360 and Xbox One. They were both, all forces were all out at the same time, and you're trying to bridge a gap. I think that was a point that hurt them, and I think that from here on out, especially with the system refresh, because it's not really new systems. When you really look down to it and get down to bare bones, the Xbox One, then the One S, and now the One X, that's what Project Scorpio is being called, is the One X. It's just an Xbox One with beefier specs in it. It's no different than the Xbox One. It's got the same exact coding to it and everything. And I think that's what we're going to start seeing out of consoles now, is that kind of thing. And so for Destiny, I think it would be good now to say, okay, look, we lost 3 years. That's Destiny 1, we lost 3 years. We got 6-7 years left with Destiny. Let's go 6-7 years and blow it out of the water. I think that would be the smartest move. Plan like that, you can roll on and go straight through with it. I went to the PS4 Pro, so I know I'm going to get a few more years out of mine than a PS4 would. But, come on, they're still running the same thing. You still get what you need out of it and roll with it. I really think that they should push like that. And I'm really hoping that's what they're doing with Destiny 2.
I do too. And you look at games like GTA 5 with Rockstar, and they are still pushing that came out in 2014, and they are still supporting that game 100%. They're pushing content out for free for the online mode, and that game is one of the best. It's probably the best game, one of the best games ever made. If you like that kind of game, and the online content, there's so much to do there. And so, what that does is build a reputation for this company. When Red Dead Redemption 2 comes out, everybody's excited. What are they going to have for the multiplayer? Because they did all this experimentation with the online multiplayer for Grand Theft Auto 5. That, and so the point I'm getting at is if Destiny would just, hey, we're going to buckle down, like you just said, 6 years or so, and just support this game. Man, and just add on and add on and add on. So what if it's on the next generation or previous generation or whatever? If we can do it, because then they say, okay, Destiny's done. Now we're going to release our new project that's coming out in 2 years. It's going to be another 10-year project, or we've been working on this. What kind of fans? People would be chomping at the bits to get a hold of it.
You have a killer fan base, and kind of to counterpoint your whole thing with GTA. The reason why they've dumped so much into GTA is because that's what they have. That's all they have right now. That's all Rockstar has. That's their big money maker. Bungie, now granted, Destiny is their big money maker, but they did have Halo. They had the success from Halo, and that's the reason why they got so big. Rockstar had the success from all of the GTAs. They pretty much are GTA. That's where their big winner is. Now, don't get me wrong. Red Dead is a great game, but it's not going to be their GTA. Because I think it's going to talk to a smaller crowd. But we can talk about those games later. I don't want to get too off in the weeds on those. So,
all I'm saying is they support their games, and Bungie, all they had was Halo forever. In fact, I don't even know if they ever had another game. But Rockstar had Red Dead, they had Bully, they had all the GTA games. I can't think of them offhand, but they had a ton of games. But yeah, they have GTA now, but now you got Bungie teamed up with Activision, who's had all the Call of Duties. They have a crazy amount of success, a crazy amount of dollars, so they could dedicate an entire team. I don't know what kind of bankroll they got, but I guarantee they have more than they probably have more than Rockstar, and they could dedicate an entire team to just supporting Destiny, and they could go off and do their own thing. And they kind of are. Activision's got Call of Duties and all this coming out still, but. But anyway, I'm just saying, that would be so good to just show the fans, say we're going to dedicate the rest of this. We're not just going to keep popping new games out and just everything you've all done is just worthless because, I mean, there's a part of, being old school gamers like me and you, I can go put in a Mario Brothers game right now from 1985 or whatever, and it'll play the exact same way that it did when it first came out. Any Super Nintendo, any cartridge-based game.
Yep.
In 10 years, you may not even be able to play Destiny 1 if they decide, hey, servers aren't going to support that anymore. So there's a level of, for gamers like us, you kind of just want to, I don't know, there's going to be no nostalgia because it's going to be non-existent because you can't even play the game. And a lot of these games are online now, so it's almost like, are they collectors now? Can you go back, whatever games my son or whoever plays, they might not have that luxury 15 years from now because there's no servers and this kind of deal. So I really don't know what I'm trying to say other than, you want to build experiences, I guess, and people want to relive those experiences. And if you kind of take that away, you might be cutting some people off. I don't know. I'm just kind of thinking out loud about that, but
yeah, you can kind of hurt your game doing that. So, but I want to get more back into the Destiny 2 because I've got another thing that I want to bring up too because something we talked about was the stranger. She's gone. We're not seeing her anymore. She's gone. Well, if you go back and you watch one of the two new trailers, I think it's the Activision Bungie trailer, the official one that's out. If you look back, it's when Cade is about to ask for hugs and everything. It's a really funny moment. If you look at the table standing around, you see Zavala, you see Ikora, you see Cade, of course, and you see somebody that looks like the stranger standing there, back turned, so you can't see their face.
Better be the stranger.
So I want y'all to go check it out. Go check out the trailer, look and see what you think. Tell us what you think. Like I said, I'm gonna try to get that Facebook page running for us. It might not be pretty, but I want you to give us some comments on that, guys, if you're listening in, and let us know what you think about that because I'm sitting here pondering what can it be. They're talking about a character, I think Hawthorne or something like that. Hathorn, I forget exactly what the name is in some of the stuff that I've been following. They're talking about that possibly being who that is, which I think in a way would then be, Bungie doing its normal thing, reskinning stuff like it did in Destiny 1.
That's a stranger just renamed
reskinning the stranger to that.
But what if they did? Think of the potential that if it was the stranger, that's saying, wow, maybe they will go back a little bit and kind of explain this story a little bit more. I mean, that would be huge. If it's the stranger,
I really hope so.
I do too. That'd be a big win for them. I think that would win a lot of people.
But I mean, like I said, it's very clearly you can tell that it's a smaller frame character. The stranger was female, and it looks like it could very well be female the way it's standing there. Its back's turned with a hood on, so it's very obvious that it's a hunter. The stranger was a hunter, and it's just. There's a lot of telltale signs there that says it could be the stranger. I think it might be, and I think it's worth a check to go check it out and seeing, weigh your own guesses on it. But another thing I want to bring up too, just a funny point. Go check out Ralph the Chicken. Ralph the Chicken is the chicken that Cade 6 is holding in there, and he's going to be in the social space. He's already got his own Twitter. Go check it out. It'll give you a good little laugh and everything. And they've done some funny things like that. And that's what I kind of like what Bungie's doing with this, is because they're trying to add some character and personality into everything. I really hate when they got rid of everybody knows your ghost as Dinklebot or Nolanbot. I really liked Dinklebot, and I really thought that Dinklebot.
He's a robot. He's supposed to sound robotic.
He's supposed to be terrible at saying things. He doesn't have a human emotion. When they took Dinklebot out and they put Nolanbot in with all of the
that's terrible.
With all of the mannerisms of more humanistic, I'm like, it's a robot. He's not trying to be humanistic. He's not trying to be sympathetic with us. He just revived us, and that's all he does. That's his job, is keep us alive, so we can fight the good fight.
They brought a tank to a gunfight. It's like, dude, no, you don't have humor. You're a robot.
But it's not a bad thing. But I hope that they don't do any crazy changes like that. And they're talking about how in Destiny 2 your character is going to be silent. I think that's kind of I think that's kind of
changed that. I don't
think
know
that's
what's
kind
up
of
with
sad.
that.
I think that's kind of sad because I want to see what my character has to think about it. I know, of course, that's me, but I want to hear things from it.
You
in
notice they
Destiny
did
1,
that. Yeah, they talked. They talked at first, and then which one was it? Was it the Taken King when they stopped talking? Taken King, they stopped talking.
I think it was actually House of Wolves they stopped talking because I don't remember House of Wolves them saying anything in that.
I don't think they had any scenes though. There were no scenes, and they may not even had any scenes.
There was one or two, but I don't think.
I don't know. Yeah. They stopped talking for some reason, but yeah, why did they? I liked it. I liked it when they talked. I don't know why they stopped.
I liked it too because you had that talk back and forth. I liked that whole conversation that our Guardian has with the Queen at the Reef and her brother, and that whole conversation back and forth. I know he doesn't say but like 3 lines in it, but heck, it made it a little more entertaining and more interactive. You felt like you were a part of it at that point.
I don't know what's up with silent.
That kind of thing.
Silent protagonist is like some games have it, and it's just jeez.
Not a huge fan of that, but then again, they've done a bunch of changes. So another thing I want to bring up too is the PvP change, the big change that everybody's talking about, going from 6v6 to 4v4. What I want to ask you, Hollywood, because you're more of a PvPer than I am. What are your takes on going down in your
I kind of like it, man.
Size?
I really do because I mean, I think they're decreasing the size of the maps as well, right?
That's what I've seen so far in the
the few that we played on the beta, it seemed to be smaller. The time to kill is a little bit longer, or it seems it does. I know it takes a lot more shots to take down the shield, but not as many to take your life, the life down. But I like the 4v4 because I think that lends itself to more tactical, just decisions, and you get a smaller group, you can kind of coordinate a little bit better. And kind of work more as a single unit because you just basically don't have as many moving pieces, so less chance to mess up or whatever. The downside would be if it's a 6v6, there's usually always somebody to kill, but you're always kind of run up into action. But if they do decrease the size of the maps, I think that'll be good. Overall, like the one game type, what was the other game type? Countdown. Mm-hmm. And so that's a little bit more strategy based. So when you have a group of 4, you can kind of work those strategies and a little bit easier to maintain and execute, I think. So I think I'm going to enjoy that change.
So I didn't like it for the fact of I'm not a PvPer, and what I tend to do in PvP is I tend to sit back a little bit and kind of gauge the match before I jump in it, and I let people take the shots for me. I'm kind of dirty like that, but my clan knows that's how I play, and they kind of expect that out of me. So now I have less bodies to get shot at before I can get shot at, because I don't like to die. Dying ain't fun. I don't want to die and sit there. And then the whole situation now in like the because they basically they're trying to break it out into competitive and more casual PvP. And in the competitive PvP, you only have a specific number of revives for your entire team. I don't want to be the one burning out the revives because I know I will. And then in the casual one, it's just everything happens so quick. You're dead, and then you're back. You're dead, you're back. You're dead, you're back. It's just so quick. A lot of quick paced action. And I liked too that in the control, now you start off with A and C already controlled, and the fight's over B. You have the couple people trying to sneak over and steal your spot that you started with, but the main fight is over just one zone, really. And I kind of like that because now you have that back and forth.
It just gets everybody into action quicker because instead of having to stand the first 20 seconds or so on your spawn point, basically, you just run to the middle. But
exactly. You run to the middle to fight, and then there's no more action. There's no more standing around. Really, you're getting in there to fight and all that.
So one thing that I didn't necessarily like, and it's kind of what you were talking about, the weapons loadout. So with PvP, also, you have the heavy. It's not like heavy drops at once, which I didn't like that in Destiny 1, where the heavy all drops at once. It's the same thing. Heavy drops. Everybody's saving their super to go drop a bomb on the heavy ammo crate, or even if you get it, both teams have heavy. Then everybody goes to the middle and kills each other with rockets, and then it's over. So the best thing to do is get heavy and then set off to the side and let everybody shoot each other, and then go in there and start laying waste. But So they needed to change that, and they did. But it's like a heavy ammo on the side. I'm thinking the one in Countdown, where it's just a heavy thing on the side of the wall, where only one person gets it. Yeah, it's not a total drop when somebody opens it for your team. Only one person gets it, and so that sucks because, like you were mentioning, the loadouts, sniper rifle, shotgun. I mean, jeez, come on. This is just a no-brainer to me. That's a heavy weapon now, and the ammo is so scarce. I'm never going to use a shotgun, never going to use a sniper. It's always scout rifles, hand cannons, pulse rifles, and auto rifles. I mean, that's not. I don't know what they're thinking there.
I have a feeling that's going to change.
Yeah, I do. I hope so. They got a lot of backlash with that. I think.
Well, I mean, so granted, I'm not a sniper. I'm not a shotgunner. Give me a Telesto. Let me zap you with Telesto. You can go run off and die, and I'll die, and I'm happy. That was my gun. That was my secondary choice in Crucible was the Telesto. Loved it. It was great. Yes, it's my exotic slot, but you know what? I didn't care because I had Paleo Contact, and I had my Titanium Orchid, or I forget what was the Silver Dread or whatever.
Yeah. Machine gun Silver Dread. Yeah.
Yeah, the Silver Dread.
It was awesome.
Those were two fantastic guns. And I loved those. I loved that setup, and I would run with that all the time and did fantastic with it. But now I'm going to be running with 2 auto rifles because all I can do now is drop one auto rifle when it runs out of ammo instead of reloading, and then pick up the next one. And if the guns have any perks on them, like you reload when it goes in your backpack, I mean, it's just going to be switching guns back and forth. So you're just going to be nothing but drop and fire all the time. And so I just kind of don't like that, because it limits you on what you really can do. And especially somebody like me that, likes to change it up a little bit and try to learn sniping and try to learn other things. It makes it to where I'm not going to do it, because I was usually never one of the ones that got the heavy in PvP. I was always usually the one that said that was told, hey, look, you just died. You got a super, right? Yeah. Go super the heavy. I'm like, all right, fine. I'll go super the heavy. I'd go over there. I'd super the heavy, get my 3, 4, 5 kills, however many were there. Then I go run off, get killed again, and then heavy's all gone. It was just pointless. And the way the heavy system is now, I think it's going to be pointless again like that, because you're going to have 1, 2 people get heavy. And I think you might even know who has heavy, because the heads-up display. Now, something I do like, the heads-up display, where you can see who has supers, who's dead, and all that kind of stuff. But what's also bad to that is you can't be covert. You can't do the tactics anymore. It's a lot less tactics, in my opinion. Some people are going to say, yeah, you can strategize better because okay, all these people have got super. They're waiting to pop their super at this time. Yeah, that, but so what? Well, what's going to really help? What helped me in strategizing is okay, I've got my super. I know how I need to set up. If I see somebody starting to spawn their super, I just pop to the side. I can usually dodge out of a super and then go to town and waylaced on my super.
Well, before we get too deep into that, go back to the ammo thing with the not the ammo, but the loadouts. And again, it kind of it comes back to Destiny 1, like you were saying, the different random drops on the different bosses. If you knew what you were going to get, then it would not be as good, since the content was so sparse.
Yeah.
So the fun part about Destiny is the loot system. I mean, that's what the whole game is, pretty much. And so you get a new shotgun, you get a new sniper, you get a new whatever, heavy weapon, you get grenade launchers now, rocket launchers or whatever. It's fun to go into strikes and switch them out and change them out and learn how these things work. And I know they said that they're going to increase the heavy weapons ammo drop rate way more than it was in the beta, because it was non-existent almost in the beta. But so that could change it. But you can't have you're not going to have my fun thing to run with was like a scout rifle or something, a shotgun, and then Dragon's Breath, which everybody hated on Dragon's Breath, and it's not the best weapon. Everybody understands that, but it was fun to use. Well, it's not going to be fun to use if you have to sacrifice a shotgun or sacrifice a sniper rifle to go run this thing. All you're going to use is your basic primary weapons. So that is potentially, detrimental to how this game is going to be played over and over and over again. Just switching loadouts and trying new weapons that you find. You get on these strike rolls, and me and you do. Hey, we're just going to do strikes today. Yeah. And you're on these strike rolls. You get new weapons. You got to stay in there so you can get the legendary bonus. And I'm sure it's going to have something similar to that on Destiny 2. But you have to just be able to experiment. And hopefully they change. They have to change that. They have to.
I think they'll eventually change it. I think that what they're going to do is let us play through until they decide to drop the first DLC. And I think that we're going to see some big changes with the first DLC dropping. I think they're going to let us go that first however long. I think it's in December the first DLC will drop. I can't remember the dates. I think I've seen the dates, but I think it's like December or something like that.
Hopefully it's the same kind of way they did it in Destiny 1.
Yeah,
it sounds like
I think it's going to be close to that. So I think by then they're going to have enough information gauged out. There was a lot of people that liked the new system and a lot of people that hated it. It was a split choice there.
The only people I could see liking it are hardcore PvP players. Because they can't get shot.
Programmers liked it.
They can't get sniped in the head. Yeah, they got to play their game. It's like that with every game. And the pro gamers. I don't want to get off on this rabbit hole, but they want. There's always a good gun in every game. SOCOM we talk about. There's an M14. Nobody uses M14, and Call of Duty. I can't even think of it offhand, but there's always a good gun, so they want you to be on an even playing field. You got to use the M16. You got to use why can't I use the good gun? There's always going to be a good gun, Exactly. So just let us play our style. Just because we're not playing pro gamers, the pro gamers have to adapt their play style to us, and they don't want to do that. We're supposed to adapt to them.
Well, the thing is too, and I hate to say this, and I hate to get way out of this is going to be out of video game talking here, and this is going to be
that's fine.
Very brief.
It's the experience.
But the generations now, when we were gaming, we had to adapt to the game. Gamers now, I'm sorry, but if you're under 21, 22, you demand the game to adapt to you. And developers will listen to you and listen to your little whining, crying, complaining, and fussing, and develop it to you so you can win your game now. Back in the day when we played games, developers were like, tough. We made the game like that. You got to deal with it. Even when the games like SOCOM and stuff were coming out and the online games where they could send those patches and that kind of stuff out, they were like, tough. You got to deal with it. That's how we made the game. You got to just suck it up and play and learn how to play.
Well, like SOCOM, what did they do in Major League Gaming? They said they didn't strip the M14 out of the game. They just said when you go to MLG, you can't use M14. And they just had a general rule. But so when you bought your game, you could still play it as a casual player any way you wanted to, just like they should do in Destiny. Just take Destiny 1. Hey, we're going to go to Major League Gaming or whatever they call it now, Pro Gaming, whatever. And we're going to say you can't use shotguns. No shotguns. If you use shotguns, your team's disqualified. Just something like that. And they don't have to change the game. They change the rules for that event, and that should be the way.
That's what private matches are for.
Yeah.
Private matches allow you
That's what
to
it's for.
Dictate what goes in there. That's where Major League Gamers need to be, and they need to make their private matches and go in there and play their private matches. If you've been playing this scrub that sits over in a corner and uses nothing but a shotgun and pops you a couple times, you're going to be prepared when you go into a pro game. You're going to be prepared to know how to handle that kind of situation. And honestly, I think that gamers, not gamers, but developers need to not listen to the pro gamers so much and listen to the casual gamers. The casual gamers are what drives their game, not the pro gamers. The pro gamers, they play it a lot and all that, but they're not the ones that are saying, hey, Mom, go buy me this game. That's a casual gamer. That's the one that's like, you're going to bring you the money because they're going to be like, I need this game, Mom. I need this controller. I need this. And then who's going to go out and buy them the stuff?
And we just talked about that too in Destiny 1 on the previous episode about how they dumbed down the story to reach more casual gamers, right? Mm-hmm. The teens and this type of thing. And I don't necessarily think it's I won't even, but it's like nowadays everywhere. People don't really care. They just want to satisfy the loudest, voices. It seems like they don't care
Exactly.
about what's right or wrong. We just want to satisfy the loudest voice. And the programmers are going to have the loudest voices. I mean, they definitely are. They have the power of the circuit and whatever. And you want your game to be a pro gamer game. You want that game to be played. That just makes it competitive, makes it stick around for a while. But so back on track for that. We were already at a 55-minute mark here. So let's. I wanted to get your opinion on the latest I heard about the Nightfalls is that they're going to lock in your loadouts. So what do you know about that?
Going on those loadouts, so Luke Smith either today or yesterday put out a tweet. It was dealing with locked loadouts because everybody heard that, hard mode raid's going to have locked loadouts. He said, no, raids will not have locked loadouts. So that's a good thing because I know I switch guns a lot in a raid. As far as Nightfall goes and strikes go, from what I hear and what I understand, I don't think that it's going to be a locked loadout from the beginning of the game. It's going to be a locked loadout when you hit the restricted areas, like the spawn restriction areas. Like where you can't respawn. I think that's where your locked loadouts are going to be. I could be wrong on that, guys. Don't take me for granted on that. That's what I would hope would be, because then you have the chance to change out things. Because I know me, when I dropped into a strike and I picked up a new gun, I'd switch to that gun to 1, level it up, and 2, to get a feel for it if I like it or not. Because within the first 5 minutes of playing with a gun, whether it's got all of its perks on it or not, I'm gonna tell you, I'll be able to tell you if I like it or not.
Well, the Nightfalls, I think I've heard last that it was going to be the Nightfalls are the only ones that's going to be locked. And at first I thought, man, I don't like that. But the more I think about it, I kind of do. I think I will. I hope it is just the Nightfalls that are locked out. I mean, like you said, whether that be just in the no respawn area or the whole thing, which I would kind of want it to be the whole thing, because again, as I mentioned before, previous podcast, the way that I like to do business, everybody has their role. All right, who's the best sniper? Mm-hmm. So now everybody's not switching to snipers, and that's probably what they're trying to avoid. Is when back in the day when you got killed on Nightfall, it wiped you and sent you back to orbit. So everybody set back and sniped and was being careful, and nobody wanted to move. Well, now if you got 3 snipers, you better hope there's never any that you got 3 good snipers, and you're never going to be in a close combat situation where you got to go all primaries. Yep. So you got to plan this stuff out, and everybody's got to play their role accordingly. I kind of like that. I think I might like that a little bit better. Well,
too, and here's the kicker on all that. We are all still accustomed to the old style of weapons, the primary, secondary, and heavy. We're looking at the kinetic energy and power. You're looking at that type of setup now versus the old setup. Your loadouts are going to look drastically different. It's going to be a different type of setup, because, now granted, you're looking at all you're going to have in your top weapons. And I really hope that there's exotics like, I didn't like the No Land Beyond, but I hope there's exotics like that
I never got
set in your primary, but was a sniper, things like that. I really hope that they have those so it can kind of offset the whole power weapons kind of taking out the equation of being able to have a sniper shotgun and a rocket machine gun. I really hate that they're taking that equation out, but I hope that they can be offset by exotics like that. And I don't know, I'm still a little, don't get me wrong, I'm a big Destiny fan. I'm going to play the crap out of it. Like I said, I got the collector's edition coming and all that, but I'm a little skeptical on how they're doing some things in the changeover. I can't wait to check out the story, because we finally have a bad guy that actually seems like he's not just gonna die and be done. Because Crota was kind of, you went through, you beat Crota, and that was it. You beat Atheon, that was it. You didn't really have them kind of branch off into other things. The only one that branched off into something else was Omnigul. Because you had Omnigul Deathsinger in Crota, and then you have her show back up in the Strike. She's the only one that bridged over like that. If I'm not mistaken, she's the only one that bridged over like that. You do have like Taniks and all the other ones, things like that, but they didn't really play a part in raids and in strikes. So I think that Dominus Gall will be a lot better of a villain for us. He seems like a lot better villain. He looks more like he looks like he has that villain look to him. And don't get me wrong, he does look like Bane on steroids, but he still looks like he's going to be a good villain for a good long storyline, and not just that quick hit that you get either out of a raid or a short storyline.
Yeah. All right. Well, the one final thing would be the timed nightfalls. Is that really any different than when you did it for the what was the for the sun?
So I think
what was that?
That's got
exotic?
for the sun. I think it was Sunbreaker or Daybreaker.
Yeah.
Daybreaker is the new modifier, the Sunbreaker bounty that they had.
Yeah, that didn't really. It was timed, and you kind of got plenty of time to do it. Do you think that's what it's going to be for the new one?
It's not going. From what I understand, it's not going to be like that. It's going to be you have 13 minutes to complete this task. If you don't, game over.
Well,
it's like a hard time. It's a hard timer. It's not a soft timer like
But you always had plenty of time usually left over. Do you think it's going to be? You think they give you plenty of time to do it, or is it going to be this is going to be part of the challenge?
I think part of the challenge is you're going to have a short amount of time to complete it. Now, granted, we're going to end up finding shortcuts and ways to get through the things faster. But when you first play it, I think you're going to use most of that time. I know the first time that I did one of the timed nightfalls, I hit right at that time. We got right up there to the edge and hit that time. And then there was times that we smoked the nightfall in half the time that it needed. And then there was times that we had to do the nightfall over because we didn't make the time. Because of whatever reason, because of the crazy modifiers that I decided to throw. Because anytime you play Omnigul with Artburn on it, you're going to die a billion times. It's just how it's going to happen. It's vicious. The timer on this, I feel like, is going to be a more precise timer. And then two, when you were playing the Nightfalls, if you didn't really feel like having to complete the bounty, you can still complete the Nightfall. This one, you're not going to be able to complete the Nightfall if you don't beat it in the time, because it's a completely timed event. So you're locked into, you've got to finish within that time frame. And I think that they might stick it closer because, one, I think that would actually make it a little more exciting because you're like, oh, I got to get there and do this. But then, two, it's going to make it more hectic, especially with locked loadouts. When you're looking at locked loadouts on top of that, that's where your challenge comes in. And they need to make games more challenging nowadays. And I think this is a way to do it. But I also think that you're looking at Destiny 1 and trying to continue on and keep all those players playing and bring in new people. I think you need to back down on trying to make it that crazy of a challenge, going from no locked loadouts, no timers, to hard stop timer and a locked loadout. I think you need to kind of ease the gamers into it. And I think it would be better for all the gamers involved if you ease them into it.
Yeah, do you think, I don't know what they're thinking with this. Is it, like we talked about again, the Trials of Osiris is a distinguishing factor between players, since there's not really one other than that one, that perhaps the Nightfall, if you do get a blue flame or some kind of distinguishing thing that you completed the Nightfall, that's a type of distinguishing factor between players, since there's no MVPs, there's nothing like that. Something like, if they're trying to make it that difficult to where it's not just a casual, yeah, who wants to do the Nightfall? Okay, yeah, we're going to get through it in an hour and max.
I hope that's their thinking. I hope that they're thinking, okay, yeah, it actually looks like an honor now to have the blue flame. Basically in Destiny 1, when they were doing the blue flame before Rise of Iron, when they were doing it, I forgot up to when they stopped doing it. But when they were first doing it, it was kind of like you go in the tower, you look around, you're like, crap, I'm the only one that doesn't have a blue flame. I haven't done my task for the day. You kind of feel like you were left out because you didn't get your blue flame. I hope now when you go into the social space, which in Destiny 2 is the farm, you look around and you see everybody, you see the few people with the blue around their head, you're like, oh my gosh, he actually beat that this week? That's awesome. Actually, I hope it's more like that, to where you have that kind of look now where it's like, instead of everybody having the blue flame, you only have a handful with the blue flame.
So is there any, you're talking about the social space, is there any difference now in this social space than the previous one? Or are you just walking around collecting bounties, going to Gunsmith,
going to, pretty much?
Yeah.
You got soccer now. You can actually play soccer.
Yeah, that's cute.
It's,
I just bothered. Come on, guys. This is not a new game. I haven't seen any. I've just heard about all the new things that it's going to have. The beta had nothing new. And the social space had nothing new. And I want it to be. I want it to be good. I really do. I want it to be good. And it could be the exact same game. Let's just say if it was the exact same game to a new, I would still buy it. I would enjoy it as well. But I don't want to feel like I'm part of this. Just this.
Yeah.
We're all these suckers. Like, oh, okay, well, I'll just go ahead and buy your game, and you can tell me whatever you want to do, and I'm just going to fall for it over and over. It's not that just bothers me. I guess it hurts my pride or something when I play the game. I don't want to feel like that.
Well, the one thing that I didn't like about the social space was the fact that it was blank. It was just the space. You didn't have any of the vendors in there. You didn't have anything like that. You could see where all of them. You could kind of guess where all of them were going to be, and you could kind of see that. You could climb on things. It was really cool getting to platform on some stuff and having fun with that. And what was cool is you discovered that your character actually, grabs onto the edge of things now. So that's kind of cool. When you're trying to jump to things, you do grab onto the edge. So that was a nice feature. I don't know if that was just a feature that I didn't notice that happening when I was playing the game, actually doing the mission and doing the all the play around stuff. I didn't notice that, but I did notice it when I was in the social space. In the social space, that was really cool. But I wanted to say, I was messing with buddies from the clan. I go, man, first thing I'm gonna do when I get into the social space, I'm gonna go find Ralph the chicken and go chase the chicken. Just because I wanted to laugh about it and have a giggle.
Chase the chicken.
Sounds like a Hollywood. You get where I'm coming from that because where we grew up. Chickens everywhere. So I just wanted to kind of have that laugh, but they didn't have anything like that in it. So it was just blank social space, and you could run around it and see what it looks like, and you could play soccer.
Yeah.
I played soccer for quite a while. If you go watch any of my videos that I recorded 2 of them in the social space. If you go watch those videos, it was a lot of soccer playing, a lot of playing around on that. But it's nothing new. It's nothing super like, oh my gosh, that was a really cool idea. It's just like, okay, so that's where the farm is. Now, there are some things in the farm if you go watch any of my videos on Twitch. There are some things in the farm that are like, okay, look, that looks like that might be a new sparrow or a new robot or whatnot. There's different kind of things, some new armor and things like that, but nothing big beyond that. So,
what about so now matchmaking is pretty much for everything. You can do the problem. So we keep covering other things, and that's fine. The raids, like we talked about. The problem with me is being a guy that says, okay, I got an hour and a half to play every night, let's say. Mm-hmm. You want to do a raid? Yeah, sure. So then we're digging around, trying to find 2 more people. And so that burns 45 minutes. Once we get them, hey, I got to go get this bounty. Let me go get this. I got to go get this gun. I got to go whatever. Finally get there. You wipe a couple times, and you just kind of wasted an hour and a half of game time. So that kind of killed it for me. Well, now, Destiny 2, they're allowing you to basically throw up a LFG flag looking for a group, and you can end up joining raids. Maybe if somebody's looking for one extra guy, it's just me by myself, I'm automatically joined into that group, and I can start kind of participate in that, even though I couldn't do that unless all you guys were on before. Yeah,
it's called guided games. It's where clans are going to basically sponsor and say, hey, look, there's 4 of us, we need 2 more people. So you're going to have that ability to get into a raid a lot easier. From what I hear, though, guided games are not for hard mode. It's only for normal mode. Right? From what I'm hearing, is that they're not going to push it over to hard mode. That might be different when it all comes out, but that's just what I've heard so far. Nobody has a definitive answer on, yes, it's only for normal mode.
It would make sense if they would do something like that. Why though? Why would that be the case?
I think what they're trying to do is they're trying to push those people to join a clan. Yeah. So, and it's a push to that, to join a clan, to find people, because what they've always said over and over is a nightfall is not something you can just jump in and do. A raid's not something you can just jump in and do. If you know the mechanics, yes it is. If everybody else knows the mechanics, yes it is. It's something you can jump in and do. I can't tell you how many raids I completed with randoms. I've completed tons of raids with randoms where all 6 of us never knew each other. I've met many of the people. That's how we got into the clan, as we jumped into raids with people we didn't know. and it just grew from there. So
they need to make it. What's the other? So yeah, I mean, another thing, they have benefits for being in a clan now, other than I can just finish the raid. Don't you got clan levels now and stuff like that? You got
clan levels and you get clan rewards.
So that should be the motivation to join a clan. Don't make the guy not experience the game because maybe he just sucks dealing with people. He's not any good with being social. Maybe he don't even have a mic. I don't know why.
Exactly.
So
but I mean, they got a lot of things going on in Destiny 2, and like I said, I mean, there's still a good bit of this that's speculation.
Absolutely.
Some of it is we do have some concrete proof on what's going on. Some of it we don't, and I mean, I don't have all the answers on this one yet, and I'm trying to dig all the information I can up to make sure that I'm telling you guys the right stuff.
And I hate to be the naysayer here, but the game comes out in, let's see, what, 15 days, yeah. And we don't know anything about it other than the beta that was the exact same as the previous game. That's what scares me.
Well, what's even crazier is the beta was an old version.
Yeah. Why would you even put out an old version and then brag about it? And that's literally said, well, the stuff you didn't like about it, we're going to take out and fix it. That's all old. It's not any good anymore. But then don't even put out a beta. And I know saying server testing and all this, but you just had a game for 3 years playing on the same servers.
Yeah, it wasn't. I mean, the beta, when they said that after it was like, so you just gave me a pointless beta.
Exactly.
I got to see how good the graphics looked, and that's really about it. I got to see how good the graphics looked. I got to see a taste of what the new subclasses are, because I mean, you were locked on your subclass too. You couldn't do any changes on the different paths you can go. Now, granted, I know it's blocks now where you have 3 or 4 abilities and 3 or 4 that kind of stuff, and I kind of like that because they all go together. But you only got a taste of that one pattern they put you in, and I'm like, let me taste a little more. Let me actually let me actually be able to customize it a little more so I know what I'm doing. And it's just, you got such a small sample of it, you might as well have just racked it up to saying you got to see the graphics with your own eyes.
I just feel like we're seeing another Destiny 1 all over again. And I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm so wrong about that. But I don't want it to be just another big promise that doesn't deliver. And that's my biggest fear for the game.
So I think
because it is all speculation. There's nothing that we've seen yet.
It is, and two, I think that it's not going to be just it's not going to be the rehash of Destiny 1. I think it is going to be better, and I think it is going to be a good game, and I think that they're trying to keep it close to the cuff to kind of make that and build that excitement. But the problem is they've tried to strike up too much excitement with showing too little, and now they've got people skeptical about it. So it's one of those things where
I don't want the lies of, hey, this is a big game, this is good. We saw all the betas for Destiny 1, and here's what we promised: your ships are going to drop you in with your groups. They probably might have some sparrow racing or whatever where you can trade, or a gambling system. I mean, they even said in the video when they were showing the devs were showing it, said, she's got her hunter gear on. She either bought it or traded or gambled for it. So they used to have these things in the game. But they didn't necessarily promise those, but some of the stuff they promised and it never delivered. And I feel like they're just promising us the world again, all these great different things you can do. But no, again, 2 weeks out and nobody's seen it yet.
Yeah,
but
I mean,
that's what I mean. I know it'll be a different game.
It's just and I get what you're saying, and it's going to be a good game. It's going to be fun. We're going to play it. We're going to play the heck out of it. I'm going to play it.
I'm going to buy it. But I just... it's just one of those things. So you're going to have a 10-year...
You just don't want that nasty... you don't want that
feeling while I'm playing. Yeah, and then I don't want... You're going to have a 10-year thing. I mean, they're experts at, just keeping us just right there on that cliff. Mm-hmm. At least for me, I'm going to buy it. I'm going to play it. I keep wanting you to be good, and it is good. But, I don't know. We'll see. We'll just have to wait and see when the game comes out. But again, I hope I'm so wrong about it. I hope it's the best game. It's all that's been promised. And you can spend hours and hours of just having a lot of fun with that. It's a great community of people that play the game. I love playing games with them, and just having no problem. LFG to pop into a raid with 5 other people, you know you're probably going to be accepted. They're going to help you out if you didn't know how to fight a boss or whatever. So that's a great thing that they did accomplish with that. And so whatever they do, I hope they try to maintain that community, which I'm sure they will.
I think they've learned from their mistakes and they've improved. But
they
also
do listen,
too, I think
so that's good.
I think they're making new mistakes as well. So, but like we've both said, it's a 10-year plan. Don't expect your perfect game right now, because you're not going to get it if they have that kind of 10-year plan, because you know they're going to be holding something back, or they're looking further down the road than they should be, and so they're going to oversight something in this. And I expect that, and that's why I still have a lot of excitement, because my excitement's tempered to the fact that, hey, they're looking down the road for this game. And that's exciting for me because, hey, I got a game that I can invest a long time in now, instead of trying to find a game here and there. Yeah, we hope so. We hope that's what
we're talking about. Like, what if they, Destiny 1's worthless now once Destiny 2 comes out. And so they're essentially just making a new game every 3 years instead of building on it. And I just hope that they don't. I mean, you better get a fan base now. Don't say, well, we'll have it ready for you eventually. We got 10 years to get it right. You need to have it right now. And so will people be around in 10 years to play the rest of the game? So that's my opinion on it. I mean, it's just there's a lot of competition. I mean, you got games like Witcher 3 out. You got games like Fallout 4. These are massive, massive games that are $60, and you can spend hundreds of hours on these games. And even if Destiny's true, where you spend 50 hours on it, when you see games like Witcher 3 and Fallout 4, these are just two of my favorite ones that I'm thinking about off the bat, and the amount of content that they have, that's what you're competing with. They don't have a 10-year plan. They're going to release another Witcher 4 or something. Well, I don't know. I think Witcher 3 is actually finished, but these are the type of games that I buy DLC for. I bought all the Fallout 4 DLC, which is $50 for the season pass. Witcher 3, I bought all the DLC, and that's just to support these developers. I hadn't even finished Witcher 3 or played all the Fallout 4 DLC, but I want to support these developers. That's the kind of game I want. Fantasy
15, it's a massive game, a huge environment to play in, and then you got free roam after a certain point. So Destiny, if they don't really pick it up on this one, I think they're going to be hurting. But also too, again, they already have a really strong, dedicated community. I've never seen so many people create groups on Facebook, on different social platforms, just to match up with people and to find people. I mean, they've got a strong following, and whatever they've done so far, they've done it right. Even though we talk about how many issues that they've done wrong, you're still looking at it. I mean, when I'm looking at this group here that I'm looking at right now, 60,000 people on Facebook for a PS4 only group. 60,000 people. That's not everybody that plays. That's a ton of people right there in one little group.
Yeah, they definitely got a lot of fans, and it's definitely it's one of those love it or hate it type of games. And,
it definitely is.
I love to hate it, so it works out for me. Now, you know how much I just try to play devil's advocate with it sometimes, because I mean, just like I just said, I don't want to feel like we're getting lied to again. I don't want to play the game knowing that I just fell for this big lie. But they do have a strong, dedicated fan base, and a lot of people love the game. I play the game. I go in spurts now. I play it for a couple of weeks, and I'll take a week or two off or whatever. But I'm excited about Destiny 2, even though we've seen what we've seen. And again, even if it's just a carryover, which I don't think it is, but even if it is a carryover, I'll buy it. I'll enjoy it. I'm going to enjoy the first 50 hours of it or whatever it is. And then even if I put it down after that and never touch it again, I would and I knew I was going to happen, I would still buy the game because I enjoy it that much. But I mean, I don't want to blow it up and say, well, this 10-year deal, and it's like, again, it's just that we're the 10-year plan. Their first one's through the wall. We don't know what that means. We don't know what that's going to entail. But you got any closing parting comments? We're about over an hour now.
Yeah, I know. We went a little deep on this one, so guys, I hope you hang in there and listen to all of it. But I mean, no, guys, I'm looking forward to Destiny 2. Find me, Kleer Fire's my PSN. Find me, come hunt me down. I'll play with you. I enjoy playing with people. Now I'm gonna try to pull you to PvE, But I'll play with some PvP on you too.
We'll have fun with it.
I'll play with it as well. And you got Hollywood Cole out here as well. You most likely will find both of us playing together a lot of the times out there.
Yep.
We'll be streaming a lot. We've got the Warlike Hooligans, our clan. Find us out there. We're going to be running a lot of the guided games as well. We're going to try to be Sherpas for everybody out there. We want to help people. We want to give back to the community that's given us so much. Because I'm not gonna lie, I love this community, man. Destiny's community is great. A lot of the people are nice. There are a few of those people that are not so nice out there, but you're gonna have that with any community. So, but for the most part, I've always met great people in the community. A lot of people have helped me out, and I've helped them out. So, just check us out and have fun, guys. Looking forward to playing with all y'all, and hope to hear from y'all soon.
Yeah, follow us on Twitter. Hollywood Cole. That's my PSN name as well. It's HOLLIWOODKOLE. And like us on Facebook too at HK Gaming Experience. Is it just HK Gaming Experience, right? Or is it HNK?
It's H&K on Facebook.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll make sure that we get all those out there for you so you can see it. Mine, of course, my tag is Kleerfire, KLEERFYRE. You can hit me up on Twitter. You can hit me up on Twitch. You can hit me up on YouTube. I got all of those. Facebook. I mean, if you find me on Facebook, you can most likely find my groups. You can actually, my personal page has Kleerfire as the tag. I don't mind if you jump over there to find me from there and help from there. But I'll make sure that we have all those tags up. I can tell you right now, just so I don't lie to you. I got it. See if my computer will be nice and pull it up. But it's H&K Video Game Experience. It's not the ampersand sign. It's AND. And there's no spaces in that. If you type that on the back end of Facebook.com/H&K Video Game Experience, you will be able to find our page. We'll be there.
I think I just typed space K actually today when I found it, and it just popped up. So you'll find us. You'll find us.
You should be able to find it. We'll make sure we have everything up and going. We'll have links to our podcast on here. I'm gonna start putting links to videos. Right now, you're gonna see a lot of Destiny 2 content, but as soon as we get through the first parts of that, we'll start posting other content for other games, retro games, and all that other good stuff too. So, if Destiny's not your piece of cake, hang in with us, guys. We're gonna give you other stuff too. So we're not gonna be only Destiny.
Yeah, and so just leave us a comment on Twitter or Facebook, whatever you want, and let us know what you want to hear. If you got any questions for us, we'll answer them on the next podcast as soon as we get the question, and press on from there.
There you go.
So I appreciate you guys listening, and we'll see you next week.
Yeah. Thanks for hanging in with us, guys, and talk to you next time.